The old Carrington farmhouse perched on the edge of a forgotten town, its decaying timbers standing testament to the secrets it held within. The townsfolk spoke of it in hushed whispers, warning of the malevolent force that resided within its walls. No one dared venture near after the sun dipped below the horizon, for the farmhouse was said to come alive with the echoes of a tragic past. One fateful night, a group of friends decided to unravel the mysteries of Carrington Farmhouse. Among them were Alex, the analytical mind; Sophie, the free spirit; Marcus, the thrill-seeker; Olivia, the empathetic soul; and Benjamin, the history buff fascinated by the macabre. Armed with flashlights and a mix of excitement and trepidation, they approached the weathered entrance. The moment they stepped across the threshold, an oppressive atmosphere descended upon them. The air inside the farmhouse was thick with an otherworldly tension, and the flickering lights cast eerie shadows that seemed to dance along the peeling wallpaper. Determined, the friends delved into the heart of the farmhouse, where secrets long kept hidden began to stir. In a forgotten parlor, they stumbled upon an ancient family photo, the eyes of the Carringtons staring back with an unsettling intensity. The faded image hinted at a time when joy once filled the halls, but the atmosphere grew colder as the group sensed a profound sorrow that clung to the very essence of the farmhouse. As they explored further, whispers echoed through the narrow corridors, each step resonating with the whispers of a family that had met a tragic end. Olivia, the empath, felt an overwhelming sadness that seemed to seep from the walls themselves, a sadness that threatened to consume the living. The friends discovered a hidden door leading to a basement shrouded in darkness. The air grew heavy, and an unrelenting chill permeated the room. In the dim light of their flashlights, they uncovered a series of diaries that chronicled the descent of the Carrington family into madness. Tales of forbidden rituals and a pact with a malevolent entity that promised power but exacted a terrible price left the group trembling. As the clock struck midnight, the farmhouse seemed to come alive with spectral activity. Doors slammed shut, and ghostly figures manifested in the dimly lit hallways. Marcus, the thrill-seeker, faced the chilling reality of the unknown as shadows clung to him like vengeful spirits, drawn to his unbridled fear. The group, now gripped by terror, realized that the malevolent force within Carrington Farmhouse sought more than mere acknowledgement. It hungered for their very souls. Unseen hands pushed and pulled, and ethereal whispers twisted into maddening cries that echoed through the once silent farmhouse. One by one, the friends succumbed to the relentless onslaught of the supernatural. Sophie, the free spirit, became a vessel for the anguished cries of the Carringtons. Benjamin, the history buff, was haunted by visions of the forbidden rituals that damned the family. Olivia, the empath, felt the weight of the sorrowful past envelope her in a suffocating embrace. Alex, the analytical mind, faced the limits of reason as the paranormal defied explanation. And Marcus, the thrill-seeker, confronted the very real terror that lurked in the shadows. As the first rays of dawn painted the sky, Carrington Farmhouse stood silent, its secrets once again concealed in the recesses of time. The once curious group of friends had become an indelible part of its haunted history, a cautionary tale whispered by the townsfolk to dissuade the curious from venturing into the dark embrace of the old farmhouse. And so, Carrington Farmhouse stood as a spectral sentinel, its story echoing through the ages, a tale of forbidden pacts, tragic descent, and the insatiable hunger of a malevolent force that lingered, patiently awaiting the next curious souls to cross its threshold. Story 2. In the heart of a forgotten village, shrouded in perpetual mist, stood Ravenwood Manor, a dilapidated farmhouse that cast a foreboding shadow over the desolate landscape. Local legends spoke of a malevolent force that had claimed the lives of all who had dared to reside within its walls. Undeterred by the warnings, a group of friends decided to spend a night within the haunted confines of Ravenwood, eager to unravel the mysteries that lay dormant in the decaying corridors. The group consisted of Lily, the inquisitive journalist; Michael, the stoic skeptic; Jenna, the empathetic artist; Ryan, the thrill-seeker; and Emma, the spiritual seeker who believed in the existence of otherworldly forces. As they approached the manor on a moonless night, The flickering lanterns cast eerie shadows that seemed to dance along the overgrown path leading to the imposing entrance. Upon entering Ravenwood Manor, a damp chill permeated the air, and the floorboards groaned under the weight of the group's uncertain footsteps. Lily, armed with a worn-out notebook, led the way as they ventured deeper into the labyrinthine corridors, their breath visible in the cold darkness. The friends felt an unseen presence, an ethereal force that whispered forgotten secrets and stirred the dust of long-forgotten memories. The group stumbled upon a room frozen in time, a macabre tableau of abandoned toys and faded photographs. Jenna, the empath, recoiled as she sensed the residual emotions of a tragedy that had befallen the family who once called Ravenwood home. The friends, their nerves on edge, continued their exploration, drawn further into the web of malevolence that clung to the decaying walls. As the night wore on, supernatural occurrences intensified. Unearthly wails echoed through the hallways, and ghastly apparitions flickered in the dim light of their flashlights. Michael, the skeptic, found his skepticism tested as doors slammed shut on their own, and a ghostly figure beckoned from the shadows, leaving him unnerved and questioning the boundaries of reality. In the heart of Ravenwood, the friends discovered a hidden chamber adorned with occult symbols and cryptic writings. Emma, the spiritual seeker, recognized the signs of a dark ritual that had taken place within the manor. The air thickened with an oppressive energy, and the temperature dropped, signaling the awakening of a malevolent force that hungered for the living. As the clock struck midnight, the very fabric of Ravenwood Manor seemed to unravel. Shadows twisted and contorted, merging into grotesque shapes that danced along the walls. Lily, desperate to document the supernatural, found herself haunted by ghostly whispers that echoed her deepest fears. The friends, paralyzed with terror, realized they were ensnared in a nightmarish spectacle orchestrated by an ancient evil. One by one, the friends succumbed to the relentless onslaught of the supernatural. Lily, the journalist, became a conduit for the tortured spirits seeking a voice. Michael, the skeptic, faced the chilling reality of the unseen. Jenna, the empath, felt the weight of the tragedy that had befallen the family. Ryan, the thrill-seeker, was engulfed by the shadows that hungered for his fear. And Emma, the spiritual seeker, faced a confrontation with a malevolent force that defied the laws of the living. As the first light of dawn crept through the cracked windows, Ravenwood Manor stood silent, a monument to the horrors that transpired within its walls. The village, enveloped in perpetual mist, seemed to exhale a sigh of relief as the malevolent force retreated into the shadows. The legends of Ravenwood endured, passed down through generations as a cautionary tale to those who dared to tempt fate and venture into the realm where the living and the dead converged, a realm haunted by the chilling echoes of Ravenwood Manor's dark and tragic past. Story 3. Deep in the heart of a desolate countryside, cloaked in perpetual darkness, loomed the ominous Blackthorn Manor, an ancient farmhouse that had long been abandoned by the living. Its decaying facade whispered tales of unspeakable horrors, and the twisted trees surrounding the property cast haunting shadows that seemed to writhe in the moonlight. Locals spoke of the accursed history that had befallen the manor, warning that those who entered would never leave unchanged. 5 thrill-seekers, undeterred by the ominous warnings, decided to spend a night within the accursed Blackthorn Manor. Among them were Mark, the skeptic, Rachel, the brave adventurer, Daniel, the curious historian, Olivia, the spiritual believer, and Ethan, the daredevil seeking the ultimate adrenaline rush. As the group approached the foreboding mansion, a bone-chilling wind whispered through the skeletal branches, causing the group to exchange uneasy glances. They hesitated at the entrance, the creaking of the rusty gate setting their nerves on edge. With trepidation, they crossed the threshold into the darkness that awaited within. The air inside Blackthorn Manor was thick with a stifling cold, and an unsettling quiet settled over the group as they explored the dimly lit corridors. Occasional gusts of wind rattled the broken windows, creating eerie melodies that echoed through the desolate halls. The friends, armed with flickering flashlights, pressed on deeper into the heart of the mansion. Their journey led them to a room shrouded in perpetual gloom. Dust-covered furniture lay frozen in time, and a faded portrait of a family adorned the cracked walls. Daniel, The historian uncovered a journal that revealed the gruesome truth of the Blackthorne family, a tale of dark rituals, occult practices, and a descent into madness that culminated in a blood-soaked massacre. As midnight approached, the atmosphere within the manor grew increasingly malevolent. Shadows seemed to dance with a life of their own, and anguished whispers echoed through the corridors. Olivia, the spiritual believer, claimed to sense an ancient evil that hungered for the souls of the living, a force that had long festered within the very walls of Blackthorne Manor. The group unwittingly stumbled upon a hidden chamber beneath the mansion, a place where the Blackthorne family had conducted unspeakable rituals to appease an eldritch entity. Symbols etched in blood adorned the walls, and the air vibrated with an otherworldly energy. It became evident that the friends had entered a realm where the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred into a nightmarish tapestry. As the clock struck midnight, the friends found themselves trapped in a macabre dance with the supernatural. Unholy whispers grew into guttural cries, and the walls of the manor seemed to pulse with a malevolent heartbeat. Shadows coalesced into sinister apparitions that tormented the group, feeding off their fear. One by one, the friends succumbed to the insidious influence of Blackthorne Manor. Mark, the skeptic, became a vessel for the deranged patriarch's rage. Rachel, the adventurer, was ensnared by vengeful spirits. Daniel, the historian, relived the horrors of the past in a never-ending loop. Olivia, the spiritual believer, became a conduit for the eldritch entity's insatiable appetite. And Ethan, the daredevil, faced a fate worse than death as the manor itself seemed to devour his very essence. As the first light of dawn pierced the darkness, Blackthorne Manor stood silent once more, its insatiable hunger temporarily sated. The nightmarish events that unfolded within its walls left an indelible mark on the survivors, haunting their every waking moment. The twisted trees surrounding the manor whispered of the unspeakable horrors that transpired, a warning to those who dared to tread near the accursed Blackthorne Manor, an ancient evil that hungered for the souls of the living, patiently awaiting the next unsuspecting victims to cross its threshold. Story 4. Far away from the hustle and bustle of civilization, nestled at the fringes of a sprawling forest, stood the desolate Whitaker Farm. The imposing farmhouse, a relic of a forgotten time, was an eerie silhouette against the backdrop of ancient trees that whispered secrets of the past. Locals avoided the area, believing the land to be cursed, haunted by the vengeful spirits of a family whose tragic fate had cast a dark shadow over the farm. A group of 5 friends, drawn together by their insatiable curiosity and a shared love for the macabre, embarked on a journey to spend a night within the haunted confines of the Whitaker Farm. Their names were Sarah, the adventurous leader; Alex, the skeptical rationalist; Emily, the empathetic soul; Jake, the thrill-seeker; and Chris, the laid-back comedian who used humor to mask his fears. As they approached the farmhouse, the air turned thick with anticipation. The moon hung low in the sky, casting an otherworldly glow on the decrepit structure. The friends nervously exchanged glances but pressed on, their footsteps echoing in the silence of the night. Upon entering the farmhouse, they were greeted by a stale, musty odor, a scent that seemed to permeate the very fabric of the building. The creaking floorboards beneath their feet added an unsettling symphony to the night. Sarah, armed with a flickering flashlight, led the way as they explored room after room, each holding remnants of a life that had been abruptly abandoned. The atmosphere grew tense as the friends stumbled upon a room that sent shivers down their spines. Dust-covered furniture lay frozen in time, and faded photographs adorned the walls, capturing smiles that had long since faded away. It was in this room that they first felt an inexplicable chill, as if unseen eyes were watching their every move. As the night wore on, strange occurrences intensified. Shadows seemed to dance along the walls, and ethereal whispers echoed through the hallways. Emily, ever sensitive to the energies around her, claimed to feel a deep sadness enveloping the farmhouse, as if the very walls were mourning a tragic past. In a hidden attic, the friends uncovered a collection of old letters, revealing a tale of betrayal, greed, and unspeakable horror. The Whitaker family, it seemed, had been torn apart by a malevolent force that had consumed them one by one, leaving behind only anguish and despair. The group realized they were treading on ground stained with the blood of a tormented family. As the clock struck midnight, the farmhouse seemed to come alive with paranormal activity. Doors slammed shut, and ghostly figures appeared in the periphery of their vision. Terrified but compelled to understand the truth, the friends delved deeper into the farmhouse's secrets. Their exploration led them to a hidden cellar, a place untouched by time. The air grew heavy, and the temperature plummeted. In the dim light of their flashlights, they discovered an ancient, ornate box adorned with symbols of the occult. As they hesitantly opened the box, a surge of malevolent energy filled the room, and the very fabric of reality seemed to warp. The spirits of the Whittaker family, now free from their spectral prison, materialized before the friends. Hollow eyes stared accusingly, and tormented voices whispered warnings of a fate worse than death. The group, paralyzed by fear, realized they had unwittingly unleashed a force that hungered for revenge. One by one, the friends became vessels for the vengeful spirits. Their bodies contorted, their voices merged into a haunting chorus, and the farmhouse resonated with a sinister energy. Chris, the comedian, became a vessel for the patriarch's rage. Jake, the thrill-seeker, succumbed to the spectral whispers. Alex, the rationalist, found himself trapped in a nightmare of his own making. Emily, the empath, was burdened with the weight of the family's sorrow, and Sarah, the leader, became the unwilling conduit for the malevolent force that sought to spread its influence. The farmhouse, now infused with the essence of the Whittaker family, radiated an otherworldly glow as the first light of dawn approached. The once quiet farmhouse became a nexus of paranormal energy, a beacon that drew those brave enough to explore its haunted history. The tales of the Whittaker farm persisted, whispered by the wind through the ancient trees, warning future adventurers of the malevolent force that lurked within the walls of the desolate farmhouse, waiting to claim unsuspecting souls. And so, the Whittaker farm stood as a grim testament to the consequences of meddling with the supernatural and the darkness that dwelled in the hearts of those who dared to uncover its secrets. Story 5. The old farmhouse stood isolated at the edge of a dense, ominous forest. Its weathered exterior told tales of a bygone era, and locals spoke of mysterious occurrences that unfolded within its walls. It was said that the farmhouse was cursed, haunted by the spirits of a family that had met a tragic end decades ago. On a moonless night, a group of friends decided to test their bravery and spend a night in the infamous farmhouse. The air was thick with tension as they approached the creaking front door. Reluctantly, they pushed it open, revealing a pitch-black interior that seemed to swallow the feeble glow of their flashlights. As they ventured further into the house, unsettling sounds echoed through the hallways, whispers that sent shivers down their spines. The air grew colder, and an invisible presence seemed to be watching their every move. The group nervously laughed off their unease, attributing the sounds to the old, decaying structure. In the dim light, they discovered a room that appeared to have been frozen in time. Dust-covered furniture, faded photographs, and abandoned toys hinted at a family abruptly torn from their daily lives. The atmosphere grew more oppressive, and the friends felt an unspoken urge to leave, but curiosity kept them exploring. As the night progressed, the supernatural activity intensified. Shadows danced on the walls, and the friends began to see ghostly apparitions of the family that once called the farmhouse home. Whispers evolved into anguished cries, and the air became so heavy it felt difficult to breathe. One by one, the friends started to vanish. Each disappearance was accompanied by a chilling wail that reverberated through the house. Panic set in as the remaining members desperately searched for an escape route. The farmhouse seemed to shift and morph, trapping them in a labyrinth of fear. In a room at the heart of the house, they stumbled upon a decaying journal that chronicled the tragic tale of the family. It spoke of a dark pact, a malevolent force that claimed their lives in exchange for unspeakable power. The friends realized they were not alone. The spirits sought new vessels to continue their cursed existence. As the last survivor read the final entries, the farmhouse seemed to come alive with malevolence. The walls groaned, and the floor trembled beneath their feet. Desperation drove them to confront the spirits, and they pleaded for mercy. But the spirits, fueled by an ancient resentment, showed no mercy. The farmhouse, once a silent witness to unspeakable horrors, absorbed the souls of the lost friends, ensuring its grip on the living world. The next morning, the sun rose on the now quiet farmhouse, its dark secrets concealed once more. The abandoned structure stood as a haunting reminder of the night it claimed the souls of those who dared to unlock its sinister mysteries.